Alright, so we're starting the part 2 of this video over here, and if you guys haven't watched the part 1, make sure to click on the I button to watch it, or the link to that is in the description below. Alright, so let's move on to this question over here. So here you have the spring motor over here, okay, that you can see, which can basically fire fireworks into the air. Okay, so you have a basically fireworks packet over here attached to a spring, and it's gonna fire it into the air. And we're given the unstretched length of the spring and the full stretch length of the spring, and we have the mass, and we have the spring constant. And the question is basically asking us when the velocity, when it's gonna leave the motor. So like when this packet is gonna leave the motor, what is gonna be its velocity, like at the instant it's leaving the motor. And for that we'll basically need the height of the motor as well, because we want to know like at what height it's gonna leave, so to determine the velocity, right? So the height of the motor is also given to us. All right, so how are you going to solve this problem? Okay, so like if you're given like all these things, so you're like, we have studied a lot of equations in this course, so how do I do this, and like how do I approach this question? Like I feel stuck here. So just start by writing all the things that you're given, like all the knowns that you're given and all the unknowns that you're given, and like try to figure out any equation that matches up with everything that you have learned so far. Okay, so you have your mass, you have your spring constant, okay, you have your distance, and the only thing that you have to figure out is the velocity. Okay, so is there any equation that matches all these information? Yes, there is. That's going to be an energy equation, right? So remember the energy chapter that we learned. Okay, so that's basically we're going to apply over here. So the idea here is basically that the compressed spring is basically storing energy before the launch. Okay, and like when the package leaves the motor, the energy is basically going to be transferred into two things. So like this stored energy is going to be transferred into two things. So like one is the thing that is making the package move fast, and what is that energy called? That is basically called the kinetic energy, right? The half mv squared, which is making it move fast. And the second one is basically which is helping it to lift the package upwards, like against the gravity, right? And that is basically called the potential energy, right? The gravitational potential energy, which is going to be your mgh. So if you write the formula for this one, so this is going to be basically your spring energy over here is basically transferring into kinetic energy plus potential energy. Okay, so the kinetic energy, the spring energy, the formula you guys already know, the half k delta s squared, right? And then here you have basically kinetic energy half mv squared, and your potential energy as mgh, and you're just going to plug into the formula with everything that you're given to you. Okay, and this is delta s, so that means the full stretch length that you had over here, 0.5 minus 0.15, right? The full one minus the compressed one. And then here you have your mass given as 4 and v squared plus 4, 9.8 k, and well, and the height you're basically given as, that is already given to you as well, 0.225, and basically get your v as 6.44 meters per second. And that completes your question. This was a pretty straightforward question, but the only thing you had to figure out was that you're going to use the energy equation here to solve this question over here, because like based on everything that was given to us. Okay, so that's how we determined that the energy equation is going to be useful over here. Okay, so here we're just going to move on to the last question of this practice final, so let's move on now. Alright guys, so we have this last question over here which we're solving. Okay, so here you basically have a 4-bar linkage connected to a rack and basically a gear. Okay, so like a 4-bar linkage, and then you have a rack connected to gear. Okay, so here this AB is basically the rotating bar that you have. Okay, and next you basically have another coupler link, and next you have is a rocker link connected to a gear. Okay, so in this case you're already given the coordinates of them. Okay, so the distance between those bars that you see over here, but in some cases it could happen that you're given like an axis, and you're basically are given like, okay, this is 4 and this is 4, so you basically have to determine by yourself, okay, so that's gonna be the origin 0 0, so that means the coordinate of this one is 4 4. Then you have to do like h minus g. Okay, so then you have to figure out the distance between them. So in that case, this is how you're going to do it. Okay, but in this case we are already given this too, so we don't have to worry about them. What we're basically asking to figure out in this one is basically the angular velocity. Okay, so they're asking to determine the angular velocity if the rack is moving with this velocity given to us. Okay, so the rack is moving with this velocity, so what is going to be the angular velocity? Okay, so angular velocity in rad per second. So this is what we're trying to determine, the value of the w. Okay, And I know I have solved a similar question like this in the first part of the video. Like the first question I think is what's really similar to this one, like the concept of this one. So if you haven't watched that video, so make sure to watch out the first part. Okay, and I remember like the teacher, like when I took this course, the teacher was basically solving a similar question like this, like right before the final, like the class that we had before the final. He solved a really similar question to this, like on the board, and he was like, this is very important for you guys to know that when you guys have a bar connected to a circle, like how are you going to deal with this, because the problems that we did was only about the bars and there was no circles involved. So then he was like, you guys have to make sure that you know it very well, that how are you going to deal with it if it's a circle. Okay, and I remember like so someone in the class, they asked like, can you do a problem like this, like with numbers, because he was just showing us the scenario, and he was just like doing some calculations like just by scenario and not with like real numbers. So I think someone basically asked like, can you go ahead and show us an actual problem in the book and actually do with all the numbers and stuff. And he was like, no, I cannot do that because this is the final exam question. And guess what, when the final exam appeared, there was no such question. So I don't know why he scammed us. There was no such question in the exam. So I think like it was important for us to know it anyway, so it might show up in your final though. So let's go ahead and try to learn how it works. So yeah, so moving on to our question over here. So if we're trying to figure out the velocity, the angular velocity, so you basically have to know that to determine the velocity, the formula is basically the angular velocity times r. Okay, so this is how you're going to determine the velocity. So for example, if you want to determine the velocity of h, so what's going to happen is that you have to determine the angular velocity of this and times the r of hg. Okay, so the distance from this to this. Okay, so and then this is not the only thing that you're going to add. You're also, because this bar is also connected to g, okay, so you're going to have to add the velocity of vg as well. But since this is at the origin, so that means that is going to be 0. Okay, so this is basically 0. Okay, it's not that visible. Okay, so this is basically 0. Okay, so since this is 0, so we're only left with this formula over here, and so this is basically means we're going to cross product it. Okay, so we're not doing like a normal multiplication because these are vectors, so we're gonna have to do cross multiplication. Okay, so ijk, and you do not know the and yeah, here I forgot to write over angular velocity. We have to determine for the gh. Okay, so this is our job, to determine the angular velocity of gh, because they're all rotating at different speeds, right? So they're gonna have different angular velocity. This one is gonna have different one, this one is gonna have this one, and this one is gonna have different ones. So they all gonna have different ones, so we have to determine their angular velocity separately, but the question specifically is asking for this one. Okay, so here since we are determining here the velocity of the h, so that means we have to take the angular velocity of this hg as well. So this is what we're gonna do, w of hg. Okay, and then we're gonna cross product with the position vector that is already given to us. So we're given as 6, 10, and 0. Okay, so now if we go ahead and cross the I row and I column, so what are we left with? That's a 0 and then negative. Okay, so I hope you guys remember how to do determine it, right? So you basically cross out the row and column, and then you do like this, like top to bottom, and then negative bottom to top. Okay, so that is basically going to be negative 10 whg. Okay, okay, and next what you're basically going to do is you're going to put a negative, because remember, positive, negative, positive. Okay, and next you're going to cross out your jth row and jth column. So once you're crossing out all of them, so you're going to have a 0, and then you're going to have a negative this times this. All right, so you have negative 6 hg. So that is your equation for this one, and the last one you don't have to do it, because that is basically going to give you a 0. Okay, so that's it, what you have for this one, for h velocity at vh. Now we move on to the next one. So the next one we have is I. So let's go ahead and determine the velocity at I. So that would be, like I said, because this bar is connected to this one as well, so we'll have to add the velocity of h and plus w of this one. And now this time we are at ih times, so like cross product with the position of ih. So that's gonna be your formula over here. So vi, okay, so I'm just continuing over here this thing. Okay, so v is equals to v of h. So v of h is basically this thing that we just calculated over here, right? So this equation that you see over here, so you're going to copy it from here, and I'm just gonna paste it over here. So you're going to rewrite it over here. So this is your basically vh, right? And then plus this thing over here that is going to come, and that is basically your vector multiplication, right? Your cross product that you're gonna do. So you have again your I, j, and k. So then you have 0, 0, and you have your angular velocity of w of I, h, and you do not know the value of them, so you're just going to label them. All right, so next we have is the position given to us as 10, 12, and 0. So now if we go ahead and cross the ith row, ith column, so that's a 0, and you have negative times this and negative negative, that's going to make you hit a positive. So you have 2i of h. Okay, their subscripts. Okay, I of h, and then next what you have, so since you have positive, negative, okay, so then you have to put a negative here. Okay, so because you have to put a negative here, okay, so then you're gonna cross out the jth row and jth column, so that's a 0, 0, and then a negative this times this, but that negative is gonna be cancel out with this one. Okay, so then it's gonna be a positive 10 w I h j hat. Okay, so that's an I hat and that's a j hat, and now you have to add these two components. Okay. Oh yeah, and I just realized here I just made a mistake, because when we were doing for the j hat, we have to do 0 times like here, so we have to multiply this one, and then we have to do negative this times this, but there was a negative for the j hat already, so that's gonna make it a positive. Okay, so this one is positive as well. Okay, positive. So now once we have both, so now this is basically a vector addition. Okay, we're going to add the I hat with the I hat and j hat with the j hat. Okay, so now this is the I hat and this is the I hat, so we're going to combine them, and this is the j hat and this is the j hat, so we're going to combine them. So we have negative 10 w h j I hat plus 2 w I h I hat. Okay, you can actually factor out the I hat. Okay, so you can go ahead and factor it out, and then you're basically gonna go ahead and write the 6wj, and then you have 10 wi h kj hat. So this is what you have over here, and now you're given this huge equation over here for the v at I. Okay, and now they're asking you, you're not basically done yet, because you also have here this I over here, okay, and I, and you have ij. Okay, so if we are going to figure out the velocity at j, so how do we figure out the velocity at j? So velocity of j is basically going to be the addition of vi plus w times r of ji times gi, right? So this is what is going to be your equation. So for vj is basically, you know, you're first going to write your this equation over here that you have for the vi that you get. Okay, so let's have written this as your v. You see, I hope you guys are getting the point. So we have over vi as well, right? And vi we just calculated over here, which is this thing over here, and now we're basically going to calculate this, right? So which is going to be basically the cross product. Okay, so then we're going to have 0, 0, and w of gi, and then we're going to have their velocities. Okay, so here what are we going to have is we're given 8 and 10. Okay, so next we have is 8, 10, and 0. Okay, so now we're basically going to cross out the I and j. So we have 0, and then we have negative 10 of this one. Okay, so negative 10 w j of I. Okay, and then this is basically I hat, and then we have the negative as well for the j, right, because we have negative here. And now we go ahead 0 and minus this times this, so this negative is going to cancel out this negative, making it a positive 8wgi. So then this whole thing equals to, so this is what you basically have. Now again, you're going to add your I, j, and k hat, but before you go ahead and do this, you know what you could do here is that, because you can figure out the value of the wgi. Okay, and how are you going to figure out this wgi? You see here they're basically giving you the velocity at which the rack is moving, right? So the velocity you see over here, they have given you over here. I have to choose another color though, still not visible, but yeah. Okay, let's say, okay, I'm just gonna put it like this. Okay, so we are already given the velocity of this one. Okay, and we're already given the radius of this one as well. Okay, so if we're want to find the angular velocity, and we know the velocity is omega times r, so if we want to find out the omega, we just have to do v divided by r to figure out the omega, to figure out the w, right? So here the angular velocity, so here the v that we're given is 0.012 divided by 0.4 the radius. So what the angular velocity at 0.003 rad per seconds. Okay, so this is going to be your value for this one. So let's go ahead and plug in here 0.03. Okay, so I basically ran into an audio issue while recording this, so I'm just going to re-record this part over here. So what I basically did was to multiply this with the w, that the angular velocity that we just found, 0.03. Okay, so I'm just going to multiply with this by -10, so we get -0.3, and we multiply with 8, so we get this one for the j hat. Okay, now that we have the values, we just can go ahead and add these up with this one. Okay, so this I had with this thing. Okay, so we have this one and this thing combined with the j hat over here, so we have this combined with j hat. Okay, so now once we have everything combined over here, okay, let's just forget this 0 for now. Okay, so once we have this whole thing combined over here, we still have unknown variables. Okay, so how do we identify for those unknown variables? How do we solve for them? Okay, because there's no other way to solve for them, but you know, in the question, if you look at the pin at j, so you see it is not moving, it is basically fixed. So that is basically going to tell you that you have to make the velocity at j is basically equal to 0, because it is not moving in the horizontal direction, like neither horizontal nor vertical. So it's like no motion in the x or the y direction, so we have to set both of them equal to 0, not only like one. Like if it was moving in only in x, so we would set the j direction in equal to 0, but not the x, and we'll figure out the velocity at j. But however, in this case, since it's not moving at all, the j point, so we have to make the whole x and y equals to 0. So this basically gives us the equation of the velocity at 0, but the velocity itself is equal to 0. Alright, so now making each component equals to 0. Okay, each individual component, the I hat and the j hat equals to 0. Okay, so if we make this equals to 0, so this is going to go to the other side, right? So it's going to change sign and go over the other side. The rest of the equation is basically same, so but we just splitting the equation into 2. Okay, and we are doing the same thing over here, that goes over here. Okay, and now it's basically solving for this, so we just solve for one of the variable. Okay, we solve for this, and then we plug into here, so we just solve for w8g. So we're going to plug this thing that we just found, we're going to plug in here. Okay, so we put in here, and then we're simply going to solve for the values. Okay, so if we solve for it, we get this value for wi and whj, we get this value, and this complete basically our answer, because this was our initial question, was basically find the angular velocity of GH. Okay, and that's pretty much it for our answer. And I hope you guys found this video helpful, and this whole final exam session helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comment section below whether it was helpful or not, and how I could improve this, if there's anything that you guys like or dislike, if you guys want me to improve it in any form. So just let me know anything in the comment section below, and make sure to subscribe, because it motivates me to make more such video. And good luck for the final exam. Bye.